Hi there. In this episode, vocal sample libraries for you to consider. I'll summarize some of my favorite solo vocal and choir sample libraries, but only the libraries I own because I have used them and this is not some cursory opinion. As I often do, first a little history and background. I love vocal sample libraries. I have purchased more than 14 of them, which is probably more than most people. I've also created my own small vocal libraries with my voice and other people's voices, which I like to blend for more textures. Before we go any further, this episode is not an in-depth review of 14 sample libraries. It's more of a general overview and analysis based on my ownership and use to give you a list of libraries to consider. Half the battle of buying a sample library, such as a vocal sample library, is knowing what is available so you can start your search. That is what this video is all about. Mainstream sample companies tend to create and release well-recorded sample libraries, but some are better than others. I may play a few examples from work I've done, but if you're looking for an in-depth review, this is not the episode for you, and it's one of my longer episodes, so don't waste any more of your time. In other episodes, I've talked about how you can objectively measure value in sample libraries. For example, you can take the price of the library and divide it by the uncompressed size or the size on disk, usually in gigabytes, and get a cost per gigabyte. It's probably the most objective value we can assign to creative tools like these. I realize that we're evaluating a sample library and not how much milk, gold, or terabytes of disk storage space we're getting for each dollar. With sample libraries, there's a huge subjective evaluation to be made here. A tiny library that is expensive may be worth it if we like the sounds, and there is at least one like that in here. A massive library that is inexpensive may not have any value to us if we don't like the sounds, so my objective math can be immaterial. This objective price evaluation is just one aspect of the whole picture, and something I like to do when evaluating a sample library. You can give it as much weight or as little weight as you want. To be clear, ultimately, I don't care how inexpensive a library is. If I don't like it and I won't use it, I don't want it. With this in mind, I'm going to use both subjective and objective analysis to talk about the libraries I own. I'm going to give them both a subjective and an objective value and an overall recommendation, which will include if I'm happy with it as a purchase. You should definitely do your own investigation before you buy. So think of my list as a good starting point. Also, note that these libraries go on sale from time to time, but you can't always count on them being on sale when you're ready to buy. The prices I'm going to give you are the list price, but I'll also give you the sales price if I have it. I was not paid to summarize any of these libraries. I purchased them myself with my own money. In no particular order, here is the list of libraries I'm going to summarize. Shevannai, Spitfire Epic Choir, Voxos, Clare Solo V2, Aeris Hybrid Choir Designer, Vocalise 1, Vocalise 2, Vocalise 3, East-West Hollywood Choir, East-West Voices of the Empire, East-West Opera, East-West Hollywood Backup Singers, East-West Voices of Passion, and Choir Omnia. First up, Shevannai. Cost $159. No sales price to give you. I've never ever seen this on sale. I waited forever hoping it would go on sale and eventually I just had to buy it. Size 2.52 gigabytes. Objective value 63. Remember, a lower number is better. The number is how much in dollars you will pay per gigabyte for sample data. In this case, $63 per gigabyte. Shevannai is expensive for the amount of sample content you get, but the character and quality of this female voice is unrivaled. There is another voice by the same creator that comes close, but I don't own it, so I won't comment on that. The value here is the expressive nature of this person's voice and how beautiful it is. I imagine that most people don't get past the 5 primary articulations, but there are more than 25 others waiting to be discovered. Ultimately, there is not a huge amount of content, so you have to be creative in using it. It's still my favorite solo voice. Worth buying? Yes. Next up, Spitfire Epic Choir. Cost $29. No sales price that I'm aware of. If I remember correctly, when I purchased mine, they gave me a $10 coupon towards other products in the same product line. I don't know if they still do that. Size on disk is 2.72 gigabytes. Objective value is 11. This is from Spitfire Audio's Originals collection, and like most of their products, it is well recorded and useful. It uses their proprietary interface and not Contact, which is a bummer, but undoubtedly ensures a lower price to you. I think the value here is for someone that doesn't need a full choir library, but from time to time needs real choir voices in a cue or a song. Or for a person such as me that simply loves vocal libraries and likes to have as many options as possible at their disposal. Worth buying? Yes, based on the aforementioned criteria. Next up, Voxos. Cost $499 or $299 on sale. Size 22.2 gigabytes. Objective value 22. This library has a good selection of sample content. You get sections of sopranos, altos, tenors, basses, a boys choir with polylegato, monolegato, and poly non-legato. They all sound organic. The poly non-legato is fun to doodle on, but you'd probably want to activate individual sections in your DAW so you can control each section discreetly when orchestrating. Rises, stabs, screams, clusters, textures, all which sound good. A solo soprano female with intense vibrato. Reminds me of my mom when she used to sing. And 2 solo boy soprano patches. A female bum 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 patch, on which it's fun to play Mr. Sandman and would have other uses. There is also a phrase builder which has up to 12 phrases with 20 steps per phrase of any combination of 30 syllables. There's other material such as chords and octaves. For the chords, think low-budget movies like Beastmaster from the 1980s. Most folks will just use the sections and orchestrate from there, but you have options. My only complaint is to do with the interface. When a patch has multiple sections, the sections are active when they are gray and are inactive when they are dark blue, almost black. I've always thought of gray as being grayed out and inactive. It's a brighter gray than most, and it's a silly complaint, but it was strange the first time I used it. Obviously, now I'm used to it. Worth it? Yes. I like this library a lot. When it's on sale, it's a clear recommendation and has only one competitor in its price range, and that's from East West. I own that library too, so I'll be talking about it soon. Choir Omnia is also a potential contender. Next up, Clare Solo V2. Cost $1, at least a $1 donation or whatever you want to donate. Size on disk is 1.19 gigabytes. Objective value is 1. This is a very usable solo voice. I wouldn't call it marquee, and it's nowhere near the same level as Shevannai, but it's workable and you can use it. This could be your entry into the solo voice arena. It sounds good and it has just a legato patch. It has a range of an octave plus a perfect fifth, which is not huge but usable depending on what key you are playing in and where your melody goes. Worth buying? Yes. I think I made a donation of a few dollars, but I don't remember exactly. Next up, Aeris Hybrid Choir Designer. Cost $299.95. It may go on sale from time to time, but I've never seen it on sale. Size 7.39 gigabytes. Objective value 41. I've owned this library for a while and never used it in a cue. I've played around with it plenty. It has 6 main sections, a male choir, a female choir, and soloists in soprano, alto, tenor, and bass. You can turn the sections on and off from the main interface, and they will play together where they logically should. You get 4 articulations, 3 of them are vowels, A, O, and U, and you get 1 consonant, M. There is no E, which is disappointing, but know that going in. The male and female choirs sound fairly organic. The soloists sound more pad-like. There is what they call a 16-step sequencer, but it's really to add hard pulsing effects to what you play. There is also something similar for modulation. I didn't see anything that would sync it to your DAW, but it may do that. If you look at it as a hybrid choir, with hybrid being the operable word, then you won't feel misled or disappointed. The tenor and bass choir sections are combined. The soprano and the alto sections are combined. So you have a composite male section and a composite female section. You're definitely losing some flexibility in your discrete orchestrating possibilities. It's not a choir library in the same sense as a library like Voxos. You could use both to write score, but for more demanding organic score, you'd want Voxos and not Aeris. Aeris would be great for hybrid score, but you could also use Voxos to do that. It's a lot easier to turn organic sample content into non-organic sounding content rather than the other way around. Voxos is 3 times the size in gigabytes, and for good reason. It has a lot more individualized content, including a boys choir, which Aeris doesn't have. Worth it? I have to ramble a bit here. I'm glad I have both, and eventually I'll find a cue where Aeris is going to be perfect. The 2 choir sections sound good, the soloists, not so much. If you're starting out and need a choir sample library, Voxos is probably the better bet, especially when on sale. You get more content and it's less expensive. Somewhere down the road, you could consider getting Aeris. So worth it? Maybe. I think they're going to have to look at their pricing. East West also offers them stiff price competition. Next up, Vocalise 1. Cost $99. Size 2.95 gigabytes. Objective value 34. For its small size, it packs a lot of punch. The library includes solo voices that are presented in solo, in small and larger layered groups, with similar and different articulations, and in rhythmic instances. It can sound very chorused and pad-like, which is how I use it. It has an ethereal quality to it. It's not called a choir library, so I'm not evaluating it from that point of view. All of the Vocalise products mentioned here use a similar interface with ways to make them rhythmic and add effects and warp them in interesting ways. Worth it? Yes. Vocalise 2. Cost $99. Size on disk is 2.49 gigabytes. Objective value 40. The library includes solo voices that are presented in solo, in small and larger layered groups with similar and different articulations, and in rhythmic instances. Essentially like Vocalise 1. But there are also pedal combos, and they are also. You can write an entire cue around them or adapt them to a cue or song. Worth it? Yes. Vocalise 3. Cost $119. So you're paying $20 more than Vocalise 1 or Vocalise 2, but it has more than twice the content. Size on disk is 4.38 gigabytes. Objective value is 27. Everything I said about Vocalise 1 and 2 applies here. You get triplet pedal combos as well as straight time. A nice addition. I don't think the other two have that. The single vowel patches sound more organic in 3 than they do in 1 and 2. You could certainly use them in isolation or as dedicated solo lines with light support from other instruments, and they would sound and perform well. The moving vowels are great. The rhythmic pedals, great. The stacked voices. In summary, I love all the content in these three libraries. Vocalise 3 has significantly more sample content than the other two libraries, which is probably why it costs a little more. Also, the interface is easy to use and adds a lot of possibilities. The only downside, and it's really not a downside, is that it took me many hours to add all of this content to my orchestral template. They give you a ton of patches, but that's true for several of the libraries here. Worth it? Yes. And if you're interested, consider starting with Vocalise 3 first, and then get the others if you like 3. Next up, East-West Hollywood Choirs. Cost $499 or $199.60 on sale. Size on disk, 58.8 gigabytes. Objective value, 8 or 3. This is an okay value at $499 and an exceptional value at $199.60 when it's on sale. My experience with East-West is that their products are generally on sale in months that include a vowel in the name. You'll find all the expected content of men and women's choirs, longs, staccato, and legato articulations on a good selection of vowels. Not every vowel has a legato, but you will find legato on both men and women O's and A's. That's OHS and AHS. There is also a generous selection of consonants. East-West's word builder is included, which can be quite good, even if the definition on consonants is a little mushy. I've said in other episodes that I'm not a fan of the East-West Play interface, and while Opus is a little better than Play, to me it still seems like Windows 3.0 from 1990. I'd love to see it for Contact, which is true of all their libraries that I own, and I'm sure they use their own wrapper because it's saving money. As far as character of the library, it sounds organic, which is what I really want in a real choir. It sounds very powerful, but it doesn't back off well. When I need that epic sound in a cue, I often turn to this library, but not for more subtle choir. Worth it? Yes. When it's on sale, it's arguably the best value in a choir sample library. When not on sale, there is significant competition, like Voxos, and Voxos includes a boys' choir, where East-West Hollywood Choir doesn't. East-West Voices of the Empire. Cost $299 or $119.60 on sale. Size on disk, 12.7 gigabytes. Objective value, 24 or 9. This is a solo voice library. There are 3 legatos, A, O, and U. You also get non-legato versions of these vowels with the addition of E. Some are solid sustains, others have melismas, warbles, or pulses. Some articulations have a range of 2 octaves, which is quite generous. There are phrases that start in all 12 keys and a selection of words. There's enough vocal content here to set the mood for many different locations around the planet where chanting sets that mood. Worth it? Yes, when it's on sale. When it's not on sale, I wouldn't recommend it unless you were scoring something like Black Hawk Down and you need those chants. Next up, East-West Opera. Cost $299 or $119.60 on sale. Size 37.5 gigabytes. Objective value 8 or 3. This library has just what you'd expect for opera. 1 solo soprano voice and 1 solo tenor voice. You get legato A's and O's for both soloists. You get 16 staccato words and 21 sustained words for each. There are also phrases for each and a few duet phrases. Some of the duet phrases are long and show the abilities of the singers. When I first heard the tenor, I wasn't happy with their tone. After hearing what they were capable of in the long phrases and duets, I felt like it would be a valuable addition to my toolbox of sounds. There are some key-switched phrases that you could string together in meaningful ways to create very lengthy pieces of music, if required. Understand that they are singing in Italian, so stringing phrases together could create sentences that make no sense to folks that speak Italian. I've used it in both pop and score. Worth it? Yes, when it's on sale. It's a great value. When not on sale, it's an okay value, and a better value only if you are using it for its operatic elements. Next up, East-West Hollywood backup singers. Cost $299 or $119.60 on sale. Size 7.96 gigabytes. Objective value 38 or 15. In this library, you get 10 different vowels, some with variations. There are also 14 consonant sounds, one which is unpitched. There are combo cross-faded sounds and key-switched sounds. The cross-faded vowels are my favorite, and I find them very useful when I write pop and score. There are also solo phrases in all 12 keys. The East-West word builder is better than nothing and sometimes quite good. There is also a good selection of canned phrases to get you started. This is my favorite East-West library. It sounds good. It's great for pop, soul, and R&B, and it's certainly more at home with soul and R&B. You get a range of up to 2 octaves plus a major second. Worth it? Yes, for me it is. I've gotten a lot of use out of it, especially for pop. For some people, I think it would only be a good value if on sale, and that's when you should look at it. East-West Voices of Passion. Cost $299 or $119.60 on sale. Size 7.3 gigabytes. Objective value 41 or 16. From the moment I heard the demo, I wanted this library, and after getting it, it's okay. You get singers from 5 countries: America, Bulgaria, India, Syria, and Wales. There are not many individual vowel sounds. America has a few, and Wales has a little over 10. The vowels do not sound organic, they sound pad-like, even though they are solo vocals. The overabundance of breathiness sounds artificial and flute-like, not vocal-like. The value in the library for me is the phrase chants from India and Syria. Worth it? This is my first maybe. Only when on sale would it be a maybe. At full retail, I would lean more to not worth it. I can't recommend it. I still haven't used it in a queue. I can imagine a case where I might use one or more of the chants, and for that it would be useful. For me, the solo vocal sounds were disappointing. I was hoping for something more like Shevannai, especially from Wales. Native Instruments Choir Omnia. Cost $399 or $199.50 on sale. Size 70 gigabytes, and that's approximate. I couldn't get it exactly. Objective value 6 or 3. This was a new product in 2023. It is part of the reason I upgraded my version of Complete. The other reason is that it was on sale. You get the 4 main sections of sopranos, altos, tenors, and basses. You also get what they call a syllable builder rather than a word builder. The library sounds good. I only recently got this library and I haven't dug into it enough to know if I will love it or hate it. So stay tuned. To summarize the summaries, if you will, sound is very subjective. In my episode on pianos, I stated that the tone of piano is personal to each of us. Strident and bright, woody and dark, we all have our favorites. This is also true of voice, and you might say that for every library. Some libraries sound organic, some libraries sound synthetic, and some are in between. I want to be clear on some of the things I said regarding organic and synthetic sounding libraries. Vocalise 1 through 3 tend to sound more synthetic, though I did say that 3 has some organic sounding solo voices. When talking about Aeris, hybrid choir, I dinged the solo voices for sounding synthetic. This is because they are included as solo voices with organic sounding composite choir sections. For me, I would have expected the solo voices to be more organic, since they are expected to play against the organic composite choir sections included in the library. I thought I should say this, just in case someone thought that I was being inconsistent. I'm not saying that those Aeris solo voices sound bad, but I was disappointed that they were not more organic sounding. Other people are probably going to love them. That's what I expected and I had wanted, organic sounds. For the same reason that we have multiple orchestral libraries, that is, to get additional articulations, but also to get smaller and larger ensembles, and a different tonal palette in different spaces, we also buy multiple vocal libraries. I know that's why I buy them. I wouldn't say that any of the libraries I summarized here today sound bad. They are varied and can certainly sound different. As I specified, I don't think that some of them are always a good value, though most, if not all of them, are a good value on sale, especially if you like the tonal palette. Hopefully I haven't wasted your time. Take care, and I'll be back in a shorter video soon.